The Zereth capital shimmered under twin suns, its crystal and light towers piercing the sky. Inside the imperial palace, Princess Aira stood on a grand balcony, her violet eyes scanning the horizon. She was searching for someone, but he was gone. Commander. Jason Rhee, the human diplomat from Earth, had vanished 3 days ago. No messages, no goodbyes, no warning. It made no sense. For 3 years, Jason had served as Earth's envoy to the Zereth Empire. Many Zereth, especially nobles, had initially mocked humans as weak and emotional. But Jason was different. He walked into the palace with quiet confidence, never bowing, never flinching, and always spoke with brutal honesty. That's why Aira noticed him. That's why she fell in love with him. Their relationship was a secret. Late-night talks in quiet gardens, shared smiles during tense negotiations, long walks under the glowing trees of Zereth Park. She remembered the first time he called her Aira, without her title, looking at her as if she were more than just a princess, like she was a person. And now he was gone. Ayr, a clenched data crystal in her hand. Jason's quarters had been cleared, his personal shuttle missing. Worst of all, Earth's embassy claimed he'd returned home under an emergency diplomatic recall. But she didn't believe it. Jason wouldn't leave without telling her. Not him. Not after everything we shared. Unless he never cared. No, she pushed the thought away. There had to be another reason. A darker one. Something Earth didn't want her to know. Across the galaxy, Earth spun quietly. In New Kyoto, Jason Rhee stood on a tall building's roof, staring at the stars. It was late. City lights shimmered below, drones zipped past. The world was loud and alive, but Jason felt hollow. He'd never wanted to leave Zereth, but he had no choice. Not after what he learned. Earth's High Command had shown him the file, a secret operation, code-named Leverage. A plan to keep the Zereth Empire in check by using Aira. They'd studied her behavior, tracked her closeness to Jason, and planned to manipulate their relationship. At first, Jason laughed. It was insane. But then he saw the recordings, the analysis, the cold, calculated strategy. They wanted him to gain her trust, keep her close, and if needed, break her to weaken the Empire. Jason had never felt more disgusted. He yelled. He threatened to expose them. That's when they gave him the final order. Come home, or she gets hurt. Jason had seen what Earth could do to silence people. He'd served in the Martian uprising. He'd witnessed orbital strikes on civilian targets. Earth didn't play fair, not with its enemies, and not with its own. So he left without a word to protect her. Back on Zereth, Aira walked through the royal archives, bypassing security with ease. She was a princess. There were no doors she couldn't open. Her fingers danced over the control panel, and a holographic map appeared, tracking all known Earth diplomat ships over the past month. Most records were hidden or redacted, but she was smarter than they thought. She found it, Jason's shuttle. It had left orbit under stealth protocol, not standard diplomatic procedure. He hadn't left under recall. He had fled. Why? Her mind spun with possibilities. Earth's leadership had always seemed suspicious, too careful, too polished. She had warned Jason more than once not to trust his superiors blindly. Now this, she stood there for several minutes, silent. Then she made her decision. Aira walked into her private chamber and activated a hidden compartment behind the wall. Inside was something forbidden, Zerithian tech from before the Galactic Peace era. A personal warp beacon, small enough to carry, powerful enough to trace genetic signatures across space. She had Jason's DNA on record, a strand of hair saved during one of their quiet nights. She had kept it like a fool in love. Now it would guide her across the stars. The device blinked, found the signal, and locked onto Earth. Era took a breath, slipped on her royal armor, a sleek silver suit lined with faint blue light, and stepped into the teleport chamber. "Computer," she said calmly, "begin warp to Earth, destination New Kyoto. Warning, unauthorized travel to Earth may violate peace treaties. Do it anyway." The next morning, Jason walked through a crowded Earth market, trying to enjoy the simple chaos of his home planet. Chilling vendors, spicy food, laughing children. He missed Zerith's peace. He missed her. Every day, he told himself he'd done the right thing. Every day it felt like a lie. He stopped near a food stall and ordered a bowl of steaming noodles. The owner, a cheerful old woman, handed it to him with a smile. Jason nodded and turned to find a seat, and then he saw her, across the street. Era, wearing human clothes, but her glowing blue eyes were unmistakable. For a second, Jason froze. The world seemed to fall silent. She didn't move. She just stared at him. A second later, she walked toward him, slow, steady, like a queen walking to war. Jason dropped his noodles. They sat in a small rooftop garden, away from the crowd. The air smelled like jasmine and smoke. Jason didn't speak. Era looked at him for a long time before breaking the silence. "Why did you leave me, human?" she asked, her voice low. Jason looked down. "You wouldn't understand. Try me." You didn't. I trusted you," she said. "I thought I meant something to you." "You did. You do," he said quickly. "That's why I left. I was protecting you. Earth. Earth wanted to use you. Us. They had a plan. If I stayed, they would have used our connection to control you." Era's eyes narrowed. "So you ran away instead of fighting it? They threatened you? I couldn't take that risk. You could have told me. They would have known. They watch everything. They're not like your people. Earth doesn't trust anyone, not even me." A long silence followed. Then Era stood. "Well," she said, her voice sharper now, "you should have trusted me. Because now it's too late." Jason stood too. "What do you mean?" "I came here without permission. If they find me, they'll call it an act of aggression, a breach of treaty." Jason's face went pale. "You could start a war. Then help me stop it," she said. "Come back with me. We expose the truth together." Jason hesitated. "They'll kill us both." "Maybe," she said. "But I didn't cross galaxies to run." Jason looked at her hand. In that moment, he remembered everything he loved about her. Her fire, her strength, her defiance. And he realized something else. He didn't want to run anymore. Jason Reed didn't sleep that night. After Era left the rooftop garden, his mind spun with questions. She had come all the way to Earth, alone, without backup, without warning. If Earth's security forces found her, they wouldn't treat her like a guest. They'd treat her like a threat. Jason knew how the system worked. Earth's government smiled in public, but moved in shadows. It feared the Zereth Empire's power, and it feared anything it couldn't control, especially someone like Princess Era. She had to disappear. Fast.AY, R stood near the edge of a rooftop overlooking New Kyoto's bright skyline. She wore a gray hoodie to blend in, but her glowing Zerithian eyes still caught attention. She kept the hood low and moved only at night. Earth was noisy, chaotic, and full of strange smells and metal buildings. She had read about it in files, watched human videos, but nothing compared to being here. It was so alive and dangerous. She checked her wrist device. It showed multiple Earth satellites scanning the city. Jason hadn't been wrong. Earth was watching everything. Still, she had no regrets. She had found him. And now she wasn't leaving without answers. Just before sunrise, Jason reached out to an old contact, Dr. Amelia Wren, a tech smuggler who once worked for Earth's defense research. She owed Jason her life, and he was calling in the favor. They met in an old, abandoned subway station. "You brought her here?" Amelia hissed, her eyes wide. "Are you insane?" "She came on her own," Jason replied. "I didn't even know she was coming. Earth Command has already flagged her ship. They'll find her soon. That's why I need your help. I have to get her off the grid." Amelia sighed and tossed him a cloaking chip. "This will hide her energy signature for a while, but if she uses any alien tech, they'll pick it up." Jason nodded. "Thank you." "And Jason," she added, "you're playing a dangerous game. Earth doesn't like traitors." "I'm not betraying Earth," he said. "I'm protecting someone who trusted me when no one else did." Later that evening, Jason met Aira in a dark alley near the train district. He handed her the cloaking chip. "This will hide you from scanners," he explained. Aira took it and looked at him carefully. "So, you're helping me now?" "I never stopped caring," Jason said. "But you need to stay hidden. If Earth captures you, this becomes a war." She gave a small nod. "Then we better move fast." They changed locations every few hours. Abandoned warehouses, underground tunnels, even old ventilation shafts under the city. Jason's military training helped them stay ahead of patrols. Aira, despite being royalty, moved like a warrior. She wasn't afraid of dirt, of pain, or of danger. Jason admired that. On the third night, they reached a secret tech vault beneath the ruins of an old research base. Inside, dusty servers hummed quietly. The place hadn't been used in years. "This vault contains Earth's black archives," Jason said. "If we can find the files on Operation Leverage, we can prove Earth's plan to the galaxy." Aira stepped forward. "Then let's do it." They worked for hours, typing through layers of firewalls. Aira's Zerithian device helped crack the encryptions. Finally, they found it. Files marked classified, eyes only, code, leverage. Jason opened one file, and his stomach turned. The plan was worse than he remembered. Not only was Aira a target, they had planned to use a neural virus to weaken her mentally, make her suggestible, all while blaming it on natural stress. They had even built a narrative for the media in case things went wrong. "They were ready to destroy your mind," Jason whispered, "and I was supposed to be the trigger." Aira's hands clenched. "So this is what your people call peace," Jason looked at her. "Not my people, just the ones in power." Before they could copy the data, alarms blared. "They found us," Jason shouted. "AYRA, grab the data crystal. We run now." Soldiers in black armor stormed the building from both ends. Ignoring the ruins, Jason and Aira moved through the maintenance. Tunnels crawling through narrow shafts. Gunfire echoed above. One drone spotted them and fired a warning shot. The tunnel lit up in sparks. Era turned and fired back with a small energy pistol. One blast, and the drone exploded. They kept running until they burst out into a sewage canal and jumped into the water. The current pushed them far downstream. By the time they climbed out, they were soaked, bruised, and cold but alive. Jason laughed as he sat on the grass, breathing hard. "I forgot how fun this used to be," he said. Ayra looked at him. "Your planet is insane," Jason smiled. "Welcome to Earth." The next day, they found shelter in a hidden dome beneath a collapsed hospital. It was once a medical refuge during the Mars-Earth conflict, and still had basic supplies. Ira sat across from Jason, wrapped in a thermal blanket. "You know," she said softly, "back on Zereth I thought humans were cold and selfish. Then I met you." Jason looked at her, unsure how to respond. "You were different," she continued. "You saw me. Not just the crown, not just the mission. Me." "Still do," Jason replied. She looked at him for a long time. "Then why didn't you fight?" "For me? I didn't think I could win. You didn't even try." Jason felt like someone had punched his chest. "I came here alone," Era said. "Risked my life, risked a war, for the truth. For you." Jason stood and walked toward the broken window. "You're right. I should have trusted you. I was afraid. Earth had too much control over my life. I thought running would protect you. And now I'm done running." At that moment, an emergency alert flashed on Era's wrist device. Zerethian fleet movement detected. Outer Earth orbit. Diplomatic vessel approaching. Jason's eyes widened. "They tracked you." "No," Era whispered. "They're here ... to take me back," Jason frowned. "Will they attack?" "No, not yet. That's not Zerethian style. But they will demand answers." Jason turned away. "If Earth sees their ship, they'll send out defense squadrons. This could turn into a war zone in minutes." Era stood. "We have to act now." Jason grabbed his gear. "We take the data to the UN embassy. Make it public. Show both sides the truth before anyone fires a shot." Era looked at him, fire in her eyes. "Let's finish this." Jason and Era didn't stop moving. They knew they had only hours, maybe less, before Earth's Defense Command and the Zerethian fleet clashed in orbit. If that happened, it wouldn't just be a war between two planets. It would be a war between entire species. They had one shot. Take the stolen data crystal to the United Planetary Embassy in New Kyoto. If the public saw the truth of Earth's plan to manipulate Princess Era, there would be no war. Leaders would be forced to back down. But the path there wouldn't be easy. Jason guided them through the metro tunnels using an old maintenance map stored in his implant. "These tunnels lead to the embassy district," he said. "It's faster than street level. Fewer drones down here, too." Era glanced around. The air was thick with dust and old power cables. Lights flickered overhead. "This place smells like something died." "Probably did," Jason muttered. They reached a locked metal gate, blocking the tunnel ahead. Jason pulled out a magnetic key and pressed it to the control panel. Nothing happened. "Don't tell me it's broken," Era said. Jason sighed. "It's broken." Era stepped forward, raised her glowing hand, and released a short pulse of energy. Sparks flew. The gate groaned and slid open. Jason blinked. That works too. Above. Ground. Earth Defense Command had already noticed something strange. Satellite operators picked up a faint Zerithian signal in the city, very close to the embassy zone. Commander Lin Kor, head of Earth's security network, reviewed the data. "She's here," he said coldly. "And she's not alone. It's an officer." An officer stepped forward. "Do we deploy strike teams?" "No, not yet. She's heading for the embassy. If we attack now, the whole galaxy sees us as aggressors. We can't risk that. Then what do? Contain the area. Trap them. Make it look like an accident." Meanwhile, Era and Jason reached the lower levels beneath the embassy towers. Above them stood tall, silver buildings with flags from every member of the Galactic Alliance. The area was quiet, watched by drones and peace officers. But no one knew yet that Earth's own secrets were coming straight for them. Jason paused near a ladder that led to the surface. "Once we show the crystal to the UN Council, it's out of Earth's hands," he said. Irie nodded. "Then let's end this." But just as they climbed the ladder, Jason's ear chip buzzed. "Jason Rhee, this is Earth Defense. You are under arrest for treason. Surrender now. You are surrounded." He froze. AYR. He looked at him. "How do they know?" Jason tapped his chip. "Because Earth always listens." He yanked the chip out of his ear and smashed it under his boot. Above them, dozens of black-armored soldiers closed in, weapons ready. Surveillance drones tracked every alley and rooftop. Streets were locked down quietly, without public panic. Earth wanted to capture them silently. Jason and Era emerged in the alley beside the embassy. Immediately, they came under fire. Blue energy blasts hit the ground beside them. Jason grabbed Era's hand and ran. They darted between buildings, using old garbage bins and hover cars for cover. Soldiers cut them off from the north. A soldier shouted. Era fired back, disabling a drone mid-air. It crashed into a wall, spraying sparks. Jason pulled her into a small supply station. The door slammed shut behind them. "We can't fight all of them," Era said, breathing hard. "We don't have to," Jason replied. "We just need to reach the main hall. One terminal, one broadcast." Era looked down at the data crystal in her hand. "And if we fail?" Jason smiled slightly. "We won't." Suddenly an explosion rocked the street outside. A sleek silver ship dropped from the sky, surrounded by glowing rings of light. The Zerithian royal crest shone on its wings. Era's eyes widened. That's my brother's ship." The vessel opened and 6 armored Zerithian guards emerged, weapons ready. In the center stood Prince Kalen, Era's older brother, heir to the Zerithian throne. He stepped forward, ignoring the chaos around him. "Era," he shouted, "stand down and return at once." Era stepped out from behind cover. Jason grabbed her arm. "Wait, what are you doing?" "I need to speak to him," she said. "Maybe I can stop this before it turns into war." Jason didn't like the idea, but he let her go. She walked toward Kalen slowly, hands raised. "You shouldn't be here." Kalen growled. "You've put everything at risk." "No," Era said. "Earth put everything at risk. Look." She held up the data crystal. Kalen took it, connected it to his gauntlet, and watched the files open before his eyes. His expression hardened. "They planned to break your mind," he whispered. Era nodded. And I was supposed to be too blind to see it. Kalen turned toward Jason. And him? What is he to you now? Jason stepped forward. The man who helped her expose the truth. For a long moment, Kalen said nothing. Then, slowly, he tossed a small device to Jason. Take this, he said. It will connect directly to the UN emergency broadcast. If Earth tries to silence you, this will keep the message alive. Jason caught it. Thanks, but why help me? Kalen's voice was cold. Because I'd rather destroy Earth in court than from orbit. With cover from the Zerithian guards, Jason and Era reached the United Planetary Embassy. The gates opened reluctantly when Kalen's ship hovered overhead in a warning stance. Inside the great hall, dozens of diplomats, journalists, and security. Officers stared as the Princess of Zerith and the human commander walked down the marble floor. Jason connected the data crystal to the main terminal. A giant screen lit up. He took a deep breath, then spoke. This is Jason Rhee, former Earth diplomat. I have evidence that my government planned a secret operation to manipulate the Zerith Empire by targeting Princess Era. Gasps filled the room. Jason continued. This operation, called Leverage, included illegal mind control tech, media cover-up plans, and direct violations of interplanetary law. The Zerithian Empire did not come here to attack. They came to warn us. And now you know the truth. He stepped back. The room buzzed with voices and alerts. The media had already picked up the signal. The news was spreading across the galaxy. There was no stopping it now. Outside the embassy, Earth defense units lowered their weapons. Commander Lin Kor, watching from his control station, cursed under his breath. They beat us to the punch. An officer asked, "Should we send the recall order?" Kor shook his head. "It's too late. If we move now, we just prove their point. Let it go." Later that night, Jason and Era stood on a rooftop again, just like the first time they had seen each other on Earth. This time they were safe. "You saved your world," Jason said softly. Ayr looked up at the stars. "No, we saved it." Jason turned to her. "So what now?" She smiled. "Now I go home with the truth and me." She looked into his eyes. "You can stay, or you can come with me." Jason didn't speak for a long moment. Then he took her hand. "I've had enough of Earth." They stood there together, hand in hand, as her ship descended through the clouds to take them away. The galaxy shook after the broadcast. Within hours, news networks across Earth and other planets ran the story. Earth exposed. Operation Leverage. Unveiled. Princess Era betrayed by ally. Jason Rhee? Hero or traitor? The data crystal had done its job. Every detail of Earth's secret plan mind control tech, manipulation tactics, false peace treaties was now public. There was no hiding it, no denying it. And now the galaxy wanted justice. Jason stood on the Zerithian royal cruiser as it left Earth's orbit. From the window, he could see the blue planet shrinking behind them. "Do you think they'll arrest Commander Kor?" he asked quietly. Era stood beside him, arms crossed. "They'll have to. The Galactic Council is already demanding answers." "And you?" Jason asked, glancing at her. "What happens to you now?" "I go back to my people," she said. "I show them I was right to trust a human." Jason smiled faintly. "Even after what we did to you?" "Not you," she said. "Them, you're different." Their ship arrived at Zerith Prime 3 days later. The planet looked like a glowing pearl in space. Blue oceans, silver cities, green forests under protective domes. Thousands of Xerithian citizens gathered at the capital port, waiting for their princess. As Era stepped out, cheers erupted. Galara Era, Galara Princess. The people didn't see her as a victim. They saw her as a fighter, a truth-bringer, and they respected that Jason stayed close behind her, unsure of his place. He was human, on a planet where humans were now distrusted. Still, Era didn't let go of his hand. That evening the royal court held an emergency meeting. The Xerithian High Council, dressed in glowing robes, gathered in the Crystal Hall to discuss Earth's betrayal. Era stood before them. "You all warned me," she said clearly. "You told me not to trust humans, that they were weak, dishonest, and selfish, but I chose to believe differently." She pointed at the screen behind her. The data files played again proof of Earth's plot. And now you see why I left, why I needed to know the truth for myself. An older council member, Lady Vorn, narrowed her eyes. "You risked war, child?" "No," Era replied. "Prevented one." Jason stepped forward. "Earth's people aren't your enemies, only its leaders. We're not all like Commander Kor. We didn't all agree with Operation Leverage." Another voice rang out, Prince Kalen. "My sister has proven herself," he said firmly. "We must not close our doors to truth-seekers, human or otherwise," the council murmured in agreement. Then Lady Vorn finally said, "Then what shall we do?" The decision came hours later. Xerith would call for a full investigation into Earth's government. Trade agreements would be frozen. Diplomatic ties paused. But no war. Not yet. The Xerith Empire had chosen the smarter path. Exposure, not destruction. As the news spread, protests broke out on Earth. Citizens were angry not at Xerith, but at their own leaders. People demanded trials, justice, and an end to secret projects. Commander Kor was arrested within days. Several scientists and officials were also detained. Earth's Prime Chancellor stepped down in disgrace. Jason watched it all happen on the palace news screen. "You did this," he said to Era. She shook her head. "We did." 1 week later, Era received a special message from the Galactic Council. The most powerful alliance in the known universe had reviewed the case. "They want to meet us, Jason and me, in person," she said, reading the message. "They've invited us to the capital station on Helios Prime. They want to offer something." Jason raised an eyebrow. "A reward?" Era smiled. "Maybe. Or maybe they want us to clean up the mess we exposed." Helios Prime was a massive space station, the size of a small moon. It floated at the center of the galactic map, neutral ground for every species. The council chambers were built of crystal and light. Inside, 40 representatives from different worlds sat in a half-circle, watching as Era and Jason entered. A tall, insect-like being stood first. "We welcome you both," he said in a soft, clicking voice. "The galaxy owes you clarity. But now we ask, what is your next step?" Jason looked at Era. She stepped forward. "I want peace, but not fake peace built on lies. I want real alliances, real trust." The council buzzed with approval. "And Jason?" A lizard-like delegate asked. "You were once a soldier, then a diplomat. What do you want?" Jason took a deep breath. "I want to help rebuild what was almost destroyed. I want to help keep this from ever happening again." The insect leader leaned back. "Then we have a proposal. A glowing screen rose behind him. Galactic Unity Cores, founding agents. You exposed the cracks in our system, the leader said. Now we want you to help fix them. Investigate threats. Protect peace together. Jason looked at Aira. They want us to work as a team. Aira smiled. Looks like we're not done yet. Back on Zereth, the people celebrated again. Aira had become more than a princess. She was now a symbol of unity, a leader of something new, something better. Jason walked the palace garden alone one night, thinking about how far he had come. From a tired soldier with regrets to someone with purpose again. Ayra joined him under the stars. Do you remember, she said, the first time I called your name after? So long? Yeah, Jason smiled. You scared the hell out of me. She laughed. Good, you deserved it. There was a quiet pause. Then she said, you left because you thought you were protecting me. But now you've stayed because you believe in me. Jason nodded. I always did. I just forgot for a while. Aira took his hand. Then don't forget again. That night a new chapter of galactic history was born. Not through war, not through weapons, but through truth, through courage, through one human who left, and one alien. Princes who refused to let him go. Jason readjusted the collar of his new dark uniform. The crust of the Galactic Unity Cores glowed softly over his heart. A silver star wrapped by two interlocking rings. He still wasn't used to the title, Field Commander Jason Rhee. It sounded important, bigger than he felt. Behind him, Princess. Aira entered the command chamber aboard the Goo starship, Hope's Flame. Her long white and silver robes flowed like starlight. She looked regal, powerful, and completely at home. Jason turned and smiled. You look like someone who just convinced 3 planets not to fight each other. Aira raised an eyebrow. That's because I did. Again, he laughed. You're starting to. Make peace look easy. She stepped closer, her tone softer now. It's not, but it feels easier when you're with me. Jason didn't speak, but the look in his eyes said everything. It had been 6 months since the Earth-Zereth scandal. Thanks to the evidence Jason and Aira had exposed, the Galactic Council forced Earth's corrupt leaders to resign. Earth's new. Government worked with Zereth to rebuild trust. The mind control experiments were destroyed. Laws were rewritten. And the Galactic Unity Cores, a peacekeeping alliance of volunteers, was born. Aira and Jason were its first official agents. Together they traveled from planet to planet, solving disputes before they turned into war. Sometimes they acted as diplomats, other times warriors, and sometimes just 2 souls helping others heal. But peace was never simple, and today it was at risk again. Jason sat at the briefing table with Aira and their small team. Drake, a reptilian tracker from Soros 5. Mara, a cybernetically enhanced human. And Vor, a silent 6-legged scout from the moon of They. A hologram floated above the table, showing a distant star system, Valor Theta. A red X marked one planet. Nexer 4. We received a distress signal from a science colony there, Aira said. They reported a strange energy storm, and then all contact was lost. Jason leaned forward. Pirates? Drake hissed. Maybe, but no pirate makes storms like that. Aira narrowed her eyes. It's this energy pattern. It looks familiar. Jason looked at her. You recognize it? She nodded slowly. This is the same tech Earth used on me. It's the same frequency they tried to hide in my mind. Jason's jaw tightened. I thought we destroyed all of it. So did I, Hera whispered. 2 hours later, Hope's flame dropped out of hyperspace above Nexer 4. The planet looked lifeless from orbit, clouds of static storms covering most of the surface. Jason gripped the control rail. Prepare the landing shuttle. We're going in. Hera touched his shoulder. Are you ready for this? He gave her a small grin. I left Earth to protect you. Not turning away now. The shuttle pierced the storm layers and landed near the edge of the colony. Buildings were half destroyed. Sandstorms blew through shattered domes. There was no sign of life. Jason, Hera, and their team stepped out, weapons ready. Stay sharp, Hera warned. If this is Earth tech, we don't know who might be using it. They moved carefully through the ruins. Suddenly, Vor held up his hand. Movement. 3 figures stepped from the shadows, wearing dark armor with glowing blue visors. Their weapons sparked with the same energy that once nearly destroyed Hera's mind. Jason stepped forward. Identify yourselves. One of the soldiers removed their helmet. To Jason's shock, it was a human. Commander Ree, the man said. We expected you. Jason raised his weapon. Who are you? The man smirked. We are the Echo Division, Earth-loyal warriors, and we haven't forgotten the traitor who betrayed his own planet. Jason frowned. That planet betrayed itself? The soldier's eyes narrowed. No, it fell because of you. Because you and that alien. Princes made peace look better than power. Hera stepped beside Jason. Then you're afraid. Because peace is stronger than your weapons. The man sneered. Let's test that theory. Soldiers opened fire. Blasts flew through the air. Myra launched her drone shield, blocking the first wave. Drake dove behind cover and returned fire. Vor vanished into the shadows, moving silently behind the enemy. Jason and Hera fought back to back, one with a blaster, the other with raw energy from her hands. Jason yelled, Hera! The tech, it's under the research dome. Go! While the others held the enemy back, Hera sprinted through broken corridors toward the dome. As she reached it, she found a glowing machine at the center, pulsing with dark energy. A console sat nearby. Code ran across its screen. Subject Z, Project Neural Override Engine. Her heart sank. They had rebuilt the mind control device. They planned to use it on new worlds. Not again. She raised her hands, preparing to destroy it, but a blast hit her shoulder. Throwing her down, the Echo soldier from before stood at the entrance, gun aimed. You won't destroy our future, he said coldly. AY, RA, looked up, breathing hard. This isn't your future. It's a mistake. He fired, but the shot never reached her. Jason tackled him from the side, knocking the weapon away. They struggled hand to hand, punches flying, dust rising. Jason's old training returned, faster, sharper, but the enemy was younger, stronger. Jason was losing until Hera rose behind them. She placed her hand on the console and overloaded the core. A surge of blue light exploded outward. The machine shut down. The soldier froze, then screamed in frustration. You've killed the last chance for Earth's power. No, Jason said, standing. We've given Earth something better. The battle was over. The Echo soldiers were captured, the tech destroyed, and the energy storms above Nexer 4 began to fade. Back aboard Hope's flame, Ira treated Jason's cuts with gentle hands. "You still throw yourself in front of danger like an idiot," she said softly. Jason winced. "It's kind of my thing." She smiled. Then she leaned in and kissed him soft, sure, and full of everything left unspoken for too long. When they pulled apart, Jason whispered, "So, what now?" Era replied, "Now we keep going, planet by planet, lie by lie, until there's nothing left to hide." Jason nodded. "Together. Always." And so the human who walked away from war and the alien princess who refused to be broken became legends. Not for destroying enemies, but for saving truth, for choosing peace over power, for finding home not in a place, but in each other.